It's the 20th of October 2023 and welcome to Beatles News. And today saw the release of the much hyped Rolling Stones album Hackney Diamonds, featuring a contribution from one James Paul McCartney on bass. I must admit I was a bit hesitant when I heard that the Beatles and the Stones were collaborating together, and of course it's only McCartney, but the press love to hype these things up. But I must admit his fuzz bass solo on the track Bite My Head Off is worth the price of admission alone. Absolutely astounding, very much punk influenced. And it was brought together thanks to the Stones producer Andrew Watt, who was also working with McCartney in LA. The Stones and McCartney happened to be in the same place at the same time, and thank God they were. It's an absolutely superb track. There is a second track that they worked on, which is being held back for another project. And staying with McCartney, and he resumed his Got Back tour earlier this week in Adelaide. You can see footage on some of the highlights of the tour on YouTube, and his band are in, as you would expect, very well drilled and in stonking form. More dates are to follow in Australia. And finally, Philip Norman published his biography on George Harrison this week, entitled The Reluctant Beatle. Must admit, I was a bit surprised to see Norman publish a work on Harrison, considering the very nasty obituary that he wrote when George died. But notwithstanding that, he has collaborated with Pattie Boyd, who was interviewed for this particular work. It's not one I'm going to be reading, I must admit, but apparently it does feature my favourite Derek Taylor anecdote concerning a transatlantic flight when George started meditating, and a very concerned stewardess approached George, inquiring about his welfare, to be told, "Fuck off, can't you see I'm meditating?" Great story, and it says everything that we know and love about George, the man and the duality. That's it for this week. See you next time.